Hey everyone, welcome back to $1 Million Listening. I'm your host, Chris Ristau, and I got a special guest here today. He goes by Nick Fong, but a lot of people in Cabo call him the Mayor, Mr. Cabo. He's got quite a few different nicknames down there. So thank you again, Nick, for coming on. We truly appreciate you coming on our podcast today to tell us a little bit about Cabo and a little bit about you. So thank you for coming on.
Chris, it's my pleasure. Glad to have the opportunity to be on your podcast. And when you're in Cabo next, I'll have you on my podcast.
100%. Listen, we've already talked about this. You're flying me down. Just kidding. But yeah, no, we're coming down there for sure. I'm looking forward to it. And I know we have a lot of clients. I mean, we're in the Bay Area, California, that are coming down to Cabo. Lots of people go down there for vacation and all that other good stuff. But like for somebody who's never been to Cabo, nobody really understands like what is Cabo, about the seasons, tell me about just in general what people should look for in Cabo.
Well, Cabo San Lucas is the main city that everyone hears about in movies, TV shows, on internet, social media. A lot of people from California, a lot of celebrities, high net worth individuals come here on vacation because of the accessibility. We're located on the southernmost tip of the Baja Peninsula, so we're literally probably close to 2,000 miles from where you are in the Bay Area. And we are in a state called Baja California Sur, which is a state in Mexico that has the most amount of oceanfront property, but it's the least populated at the same time. So at any given moment, you probably will have tens of thousands, if not over 100,000 tourists in our state of Baja California Sur, but the state itself is probably less than 1 million people in population.
That's not even that big. That's not even that big.
No, it's crazy. I mean,
crazy. Only 1 million people. And you're talking about the most, I mean, kind of crazy how you said that, the most waterfront in any area with the least amount of people. So what do you expect to happen with Cabo with that? Because I mean, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people want to come in there and be a part of that because I mean, waterfront property is gorgeous. Can you imagine looking out the ocean every single day when you wake up? I mean, that's a beautiful thing, right? So what do you see happening there in general?
Yeah, the trends have been, and it's not just now, it's been happening for nearly a century. Back in the 50s when the Hollywood types would get away to Cabo San Lucas because there was no one here. So you could be on the ocean, just a couple hours, flight from Los Angeles, and no one would know who you are. So it is, that trend has continued to where we are right now in 2023. The weather is sunny 330 days out of the year. Our average air temperature is 80 for the high and a low of 60 in the evening, low humidity, and...
But plane ticket, I'm on my way. We're going to stop this quickly. He's like, by the way, yes, it's gorgeous year-round, except maybe a couple of things. I love it. So
imagine Florida. Imagine Florida, the peninsula. Yeah. So that's like Baja Sur, all that oceanfront. That's what we are. But even more so, everyone, because of the mountains of the Baja, there's no one lives in the center of the Baja. Everyone lives on the ocean sides.
Makes sense. I mean, that's where you want to be, right? So basically, everything around is all covered. So what's in the middle part of, in the Baja? Is it
mountain ranges, and desert.
Mountain range, desert. All right. So you got mountain range, desert, and then beaches. Got a little bit of all three of them then, basically. Whatever you like. You want to go on hikes, go on hikes. You want to go to beaches, go to beaches. You can kind of do anything and everything in Cabo. Are you sure you want to let everybody know about what's going on in Cabo? Well, what happened to your podcast, Chris? Is everything kind of exploded down here? No, it's all good. No worries there. So tell me a little bit about you in general. I mean, like I said, people call him Mr. Cabo, people call him the Mayor. So tell me a little about you and how you started your company down there, and how did you end up in Cabo in general?
Yeah, I'm originally from Chicago, and I came here on spring break in 2001. And it was me and 12 other guys rented 2 houses in the community of the Pedregal. And I had never been here, never had heard of Cabo San Lucas, didn't know where it was located. I confused it with Cancun. Everyone hears about Cancun, spring break. And so when I came down here, I actually met my wife on the second night on vacation. And we got married in 2006. But before getting married here in Cabo San Lucas, I had moved here December. So next month will be my 19th anniversary living in Cabo San Lucas.
Awesome. You just froze a little bit there, Nick. So I just want to let you know that in general. But so you met her down there, married, and you never came back. You just stayed down there. It sounds like you're like, I'm in love. We're good. I'm not going back to the Windy City, and here I am in Cabo. I mean, that's a heck of a life change.
That's
man. I mean, that's different. You literally went from Chicago to Cabo and never went back. So married, you said married 19 years, I believe.
Yeah, well, I've been here for 19 years, married for almost 18 years.
18 years, okay, yeah. You kind of cut out a little bit there, so I didn't know, but okay, perfect. So 18 years of marriage, so fell in love in Cabo, got a little kids, all that kind of stuff.
That's right. I have two kids. My daughter, Sienna, is 14 years old, and my son is Rafa, and he's 12.
I love it. 14, 12. I got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. My 10-year-old daughter's going on 20 probably, and then my 7-year-old son's going on 4. So I love it every day. That's what we do this for right at the end of the day, so it's good. That's awesome. So you've been down in Cabo 19 years. You got your family, met your wife, have your kids. I mean, what made real estate what you wanted to do? How did you start Ronival, your company that you're currently own, CEO, broker? Like, how did all of this come about?
Well, I was already selling real estate for a few years under a couple of brokerages. And I had a couple of years of experience selling real estate in Chicago, where I'm from. And I noticed an opportunity for opening our own brokerage because in Mexico, nearly 20 years ago, you can imagine the opportunities and the inefficiencies that existed in our market. Being an American, having already purchased real estate here in Cabo San Lucas, I understood the fears and the trepidation that Americans and Canadians have going south of the border. You know, is it leased property? Is it actual fee simple? Am I going to everything's in Spanish? How do I know, I'm signing the right contracts? What about attorneys? What about title insurance? Are there financing options? And so in the process of having real estate experience and selling a couple of years already in Cabo San Lucas, I saw an opportunity to do real estate the right way. And the only way I could really do that effectively was to start our own brokerage. And we originally started our brokerage as Los Cabos agent because we were only selling in Cabo. But Baja California Sur is a big state, and there's many cities and towns. And we sell in all of those cities and towns now. So we changed the name to Ronival, which is a fun use of the initials of our family. So Rocio is R-O-C-I-O and Rocco R-O-C-C-O. So that's the R-O in Ronival. Okay. The N-I is Nick, and V-A-L, the Val, is Sienna's middle name, Valentina.
Awesome. You know what's funny, man? I never even knew that. That's funny. I always thought it was.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's good to know, man. That's awesome. So you knew there was some, and it's funny you say those things because, like, I think when you're going, like, yeah, buying real estate in Mexico, like, how does it work? Like, everything you just said is, like, first thing that caught my eye was, like, yeah, is it fee simple? Are there attorneys involved? How am I making sure I'm not going to get screwed over? Like, I imagine that's a common thing just with anybody, right? Because, I mean, even in your own country buying real estate, you still want to make sure you have a good representation. You want to make sure you know someone who's doing all these types of things. So you started in Cabo, and you expanded all throughout Baja now, right? So you guys cover the whole entire state. How many current agents do you have currently cover the state? How's that look in general?
Yeah, we are in the process of opening our 9th and 10th office. And to date, we have 92 agents. And before the end of 2023, we'll be over 100 sales agents.
Awesome. So you're got growth, 9, 10 offices, expanding, continue to work. So let's go back a little bit just in general with understanding the markets, because you talked about something financing, cash, buying property. Like if somebody even wanted to get started, like honestly, like, hey, I want to go down there. I fell in love with Cabo. I want a second home, right? How does that work? How do they get a hold of you? How does that even work in general?
Just like in the States, 99% of the home searching takes place initially on the internet. And so people will find us on the internet, whether it's on social media or one of our websites. And our call center in the company is outreaching and receiving all those inquiries. So we filter the inquiries and assign clients to one of our nearly 100 sales agents, depending on the area and the expertise. And that's when all the magic starts happening. We're a second home real estate market. So most of the clients we deal with, they're buying their second, third, they're multiple home owners. And they're buying here because it's a dream to have a property on the beach, near the beach, ocean views, great weather, sunshine every day, because typically they're coming from like where I'm from, Chicago, New York, California, Bay Area. It can be cold. I know many times, and rain.
Oh yeah. 100%. You go through the Connecticut Tunnel and go to the San Francisco area, and it drops 20 degrees from where I'm at. You go to San Francisco, you better have a jacket, you better have a sweatshirt, you better have a t-shirt, because you don't know what you're going to get, right? So no, absolutely. I mean, no, for sure. So you basically have amazing weather. Let's talk a little bit about how, like, you hook them up with the right agents, right? You basically say, hey, if you're looking to buy and so, I'm going to go with Cabo, but I'm going to ask you a question here because I think most people are going to want to know. But you hook them up with the right agent based off personality types, area locations, expertise. So at least they know they're going to be in good hands, which is number one. But number two, like, if all I know is Cabo, and you say, where we cover all Baja, there's got to be some diamonds and some areas that people don't even know about. How would people find those things? Is that just kind of going down there and just touring themselves? Do you guys have a plan in place where, like, if I wanted to kind of say, look, maybe I don't want to be just Cabo, I do want to be a little bit more secluded. Like, how does that work?
Our team is trained so that they're asking the right questions. So whether it's our call center attendants or one of our sales agents, they're asking the questions with the buyers, and they're asking, have you been to the Baja before? What's the purpose of buying your property? Is it an investment? Is it a second home? Are you going to use it 2 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year, or even more than 6 months out of the year? Do you need a property manager? What's your budget? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? Do you travel with friends? All these things that end up coming into play. So it's a lot of asking questions, gathering information. And with our experience and having dealt with thousands of clients as a company, we know more or less what the main requests are from buyers coming from the States and coming from Canada. And so we can suggest communities, we can suggest areas. If you have a budget of $1 million and you want to be oceanfront, unfortunately for a single family home, that's not in Cabo San Lucas because the prices are much higher. But certainly those prices exist in other parts of our state like La Paz or Loreto. And those are opportunities that still exist. And where we're occupying the whole state and we have agents and offices in all those different cities, we can transfer clients to other agents in those specialty areas. And so that's one of the advantages. It's like if one of your clients came to you and said, hey, I don't know where, but I want to be in the state of California.
Yeah.
So there's so many.
Where would you like to go? We have agents in San Jose. We got agents in Sacramento. I love it. So very similar to that in general. But I always think that's a little unique in general. Like, how is, like, if I wanted to buy a second home, I think this is going to the number one questions that I had when we first started talking about this. And I'm not going to be there all the time. So what do people do when they don't live there all the time? Like, can you Airbnb these things? Can you short-term rental them? Like, how does that work down in Baja just in general?
Yeah, they usually hire a property manager, and that's a part of our company that is very well represented. We have well over 100 clients that we manage properties for, and it's for that reason, because most of our clients don't live in their property year round, and they need someone to look after it, make sure the bills are paid, visit the property, make sure no one has broken into their property, things like that. When it's hurricane season, making sure the property is properly buttoned up and looked after a hurricane. And then also it's convenience. I think convenience is the key these days. And with our second home owners, they don't want to be fussing with maintenance issues. They don't want to be worrying about paying their bills. These are things that they much rather have the conveniences given to them. And, you pay for it. But remember, most of these are second homes. So you're coming here to enjoy life, not to be reminded of why you want a second home, to get away, right? You don't want to have headaches and problems.
Yeah, this is basically trying to get you to relax, right? It's a second home, you're at the beach, or family time, all that kind of good stuff. So that's good. So you guys got everything kind of handled. So I know we call you Mr. Cabo. I kind of feel like we should probably call you Mr. Baja, because I think we're going to upgrade you a little bit here, because it sounds like you guys got everything covered in Baja. You've got a place down there. You can get them in. You have agents all over. You guys property manage it for them. You handle any sort of issues. Like you brought up hurricanes. I know you got hit with a few of them this year in Mexico in general. You guys will go check on the properties and all that. So you guys are full shop, basically. There's nothing that you guys can't do for somebody looking to buy in that area.
Yeah, we do everything. I mean, we do concierge services, the vacation rentals, property management, projects. We do construction. Obviously do the sales. We're a full-service real estate company, and we work with a lot of developers also, because interestingly, Cabo is the fastest-growing tourist destination in all of Mexico, and we're growing like crazy. We have all of the five-star hotel brands that are here, whether it's the Four Seasons, the St. Regis, it's the Palmilla One and Only, Nobu, the Hard Rock, of course, the Hilton, the Westin. There's the JW Marriott, the Ritz-Carlton. The list goes on. And it really is the destination in all of Mexico when you talk about luxury, real estate, and tourism.
I'm looking forward to going down to Cabo. Aaron's down there. We're going to have a good time. One thing I did have to ask you, because I want to know this, do I need to bring my golf clubs? Because I heard you guys got some amazing golf courses. Now, I've never been.
It's funny you say that, because we just had our first PGA hosted golf tournament a couple weeks ago here. And it was at a project called Diamante, the first Tiger Woods golf course in the whole world. And golf is one of the top three most, the biggest reasons why people come to Cabo San Lucas. So we have a ton of golf courses, and they rival the best in the world. So whether it's a links course or if it's on the cliffside, oceanfront, ocean view, we have all of that. And golfers love coming.
That's what I hear. Everybody I've talked to says, listen, if you go to Cabo, even if you don't even golf, like, you got to go golfing, just because the views are amazing. Everything there is phenomenal. So I had to ask that question, because for somebody who golfs, once every 6 months, I'm not the best, but I definitely enjoy it. I definitely enjoy a good experience for sure. So, so outside of golf, something we haven't talked about is like food, but what are some of the activities that you see people doing when they're down there? If I was to bring my family down there, 10-year-old, 7-year-old, like, what would you do down there besides golf and, in the ocean? All that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously going to the beach, we have many different beaches, and there's fishing. Sports fishing is huge here. In fact, the largest fishing tournament in the world is held here every October. It's called the Bisbee Black and Blue. And just this past year, the winning boat, I think, earned $3.5 million. And that is every October. right after Sammy Hagar's birthday in October. So a lot of people know Cabo Wabo. The restaurant started here. It's named after Cabo, and he's been a long time property owner here and supporter of the area. And so in October, which is his birthday, the whole week he has free concerts at his restaurant.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Something you just said to me threw me for a loop, to be honest. You said something about a fishing boat won $3.5 million. What are they catching for $3.5 million?
Yeah, it's
how does that work?
Marlin.
Marlin?
Marlin, yeah, it's a marlin fishing tournament, and it started decades ago, and it became and still is the largest billfish tournament in the world.
Holy crap! I was like $3.5 million catching fish. What are we doing? That's awesome.
I know.
So how many boats? I mean, how big? This must be a big event. Like there must be.
Yeah, there's over 200 boats that enter, and if you enter in all the jackpots over the 3-day fishing tournament, it's around $70,000 or $80,000 in your entry fee per boat.
Oh, well, that's where they get the money. Makes sense. That and sponsors and all the other good stuff, I imagine. So I imagine it's like anything else. How many fish you catch? Who caught the biggest fish? Like things like that nature, basically.
Yeah, biggest fish.
Who got the biggest fish? I love it. So fishing's huge. Golf is huge. I know the food's amazing. I mean, everybody has told me it's like the food is just out of this world down there. What else is it? Like if somebody had to come there, what else would they do? So I got fishing, golfing, eating. Maybe one more.
Scuba diving, snorkeling, surfing, windsurfing, kiteboarding, the foil board. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like an electronic thing. It's like a surfboard.
What do you stand up on?
Yeah, but it's. I guess I'm going to do it in a few weeks. It's very popular here in the Baja, and also there's people just looked at me. It's like, you're going to do that? Yeah, I'm going to supposedly do the foil board. And hiking is huge. There's hiking is big here. What else is really big? Guys, help me. Mountain biking, windsurfing. Yeah. But gastronomy has become something really big in the last 5 years. I had a client that I went to dinner with last year, and they hadn't visited in a few years. And they said, this Cabo is surprised us in the restaurants. They have better restaurants than most places in the United States. They're talking San Francisco, Las Vegas, New York, and because of the wealth and the celebrities that come here, food is really important. So the top chefs are shipped.
So you just named a whole bunch of stuff. And I agree that the food, I've never been to Cabo. I'll be down there soon enough, and we'll definitely do some nice dinners for sure. But everybody I've talked to says the food is out of this world. And it would make sense. Listen, if you're bringing celebrities down somewhere, you're bringing, wealthy people down somewhere that they want an experience, right? They want to have great food. But I also have a question for you, Nick, and don't take this the wrong way. How do you work? Because everything you just said is lots of reasons why I'm like, going hiking, going fishing, going surfing. I mean, how do you stay focused out there? Because you just said like 30 things. I'd be like, we're going to do this today. I mean, how does that work?
A lot of distractions. You have to be very disciplined to wake up every day and get the work done. But it's great. It's a great way to, I always felt this from the very first time I came to Cabo is instantly you decompress. The traffic, the stress of coming from a big city, coming from cold weather, it just grounds you. Being on the beach, feet in the sand, jumping into the ocean, being around sunshine, getting that natural vitamin D that we all need. It's paradise. That's
awesome. No, I'm just thinking. I've been to Hawaii a few times, and I get to Hawaii, and I'm like, I don't even want to think work. Like I'm good. Like, give me a beach, give me a pina colada, give me a Mai Tai. Let me just do my thing, right? So, no, it's awesome. So we kind of went through a little bit. We got to know who you are, how you ended up in Cabo. We talked about, how you have your expansion. You wanted to get your own brokerage because you wanted to make sure the client experience was up to your standard. And you realized that there's not that major concern of I'm buying out of country, how I know win the right contracts, all those things. That's how you started your company. We talked about all the fun stuff to do in Cabo. I mean, sounds like there's so much to do. I mean, I'm more like, I need to go for 2 weeks because 1 week's not going to be enough for me to do what I want to do, it sounds like, and have a bunch of fun down there. What's next for you, I guess? I mean, you've done a lot already in 19 years. You got your family, you got your business. Like, what's next for Nick? What's next for your company? How does that look to you?
Just a lot of opportunities that arise. Number one, with the developers that we work with, inevitably they are developers not in just one area, but in multiple areas. And so, in fact, next week we're going to check out a project that's in another second home market in Mexico, in a town called San Miguel de Allende. And this is a great opportunity for us to expand with the real estate and our influence with the second home real estate market, because we're primarily catering to the Americans. And so when they can be introduced to an area like Cabo San Lucas, a lot of them want to get to know other parts of Mexico, but they also want to have the security that they have found in Cabo San Lucas. So I see an opportunity for us to go into other areas of Mexico and potentially in other areas of Latin America.
Awesome. So you talked about developments in general, and it sounds like a new state you're looking to go into. How does that work in general for you guys? I mean, you got some developments coming along the way. It's like, where would people figure those things out? Like, how many developments are you working on? What kind of projects do you have?
Yeah, the existing developments, we have about a dozen different projects throughout the Baja that we're working on. And it's a variety of price ranges, anywhere from $200,000 to well over $1 million. And condos or houses. And it really depends. You know, there are some things like people want wellness. They want to live on the beach. They want to live in a more farm kind of agricultural community. They want to have something that is more like a resort, big, 200, 300 units, or they want something more quaint, something smaller, something that's maybe a dozen units. So we have different options with our developers that are offering a safe investment that also allows equity buildup during the construction. And also, if they're not going to use it full time, the ability to rent it while they're not here.
Awesome. And that all sounds great. So one thing that caught my eye, that's what I love, is equity buildup. So talk to me a little bit about that. Because I mean, it sounds like you're getting in at ground level, you're buying something, they have to build it out. What's the time frame for something like that take, and what does it look like when we talk about equity position? Just some examples, I guess, in general.
Okay. Well, if I could draw, just imagine, Chris, before we were born, maybe our parents and maybe our grandparents being able to buy real estate in California 50, 75 years ago, right? The investment would have gone up multiples and they would be multi-millionaires. That exists in Mexico because the most western state in the Republic is the Baja. And much like the migration patterns in the United States going west is the same in Mexico. So the opportunities that existed in the early mid-1900s and as late as the 60s and 70s or even 80s in California exist in the Baja right now from a real estate perspective. So the equity buildup is tremendous. The 19 years that I have been here, I have seen clients in just as little as 1 to 2 years doubling their investments.
Doubling in 1 to 2 years?
Yes. Now that's an extreme case. I would say 20 to 30% is a pretty safe appreciation number in the last 5 years. Easy.
That's awesome, Nick. So a lot of equity. So you're basically saying getting in at ground level. It's really in a nutshell. You're saying, look, at the end of the day, we can get you in at ground level. It's only going to grow, and you can see that. And the fact that you're seeing people make equity from, a year or 2 years doubling, even if you get 10% in 2 years, man, it's awesome. Let's keep it real. You're using a vacation home, let's say a month out of the year, you're getting 10% equity over 2 years. All that's good news. What is there any concerns that you think somebody know about ahead of time that basically at the end of the day, if I was to come down there, is there any sort of like red flag that you're like, look, this is something that we're going to make sure we protect you from? Is there a contract? Is there like anything along those lines, like things that the people should be paying attention to?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know a lot of Americans use real estate agents, and some don't. They try to find off-market properties, but I would recommend you use a licensed real estate professional when you're looking to buy real estate in Mexico, not just in the Baja, but in Mexico, because you need someone that has done that knows the legal situation, and also can recommend the right people at the right time. So we always use escrow. All the money goes into an escrow account. We also are using our bilingual sales contract. We have the attorneys to review during due diligence all the sales contracts. And we go before a notary public here that does the title transfer. And our closings are typically 60 to 90 days. And I did mention financing before. Although there's financing options, most of our clients pay cash. Most of our clients end up paying cash. Well over 90%.
I would imagine. I would think. I mean, in general, you buy down there, cash seems to be how I would do it. Just in general. So escrow. So some of it's the same as up here. Then you have an escrow company. You got attorneys in certain states, not in California, but attorneys in other states. You said bilingual contracts. So depending on which you speak, so I bet Spanish, right, is probably the two that are there. How does somebody in general get a hold of you guys? I guess in general, like if I have somebody reach out to you guys, they want to get interested, they want to know more about Baja, more about Cabo, more about the developments. Like, what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you guys?
If you literally just type in Nick Fong Cabo in Google, you'll find me.
What do you bet?
Whether it's on
Nick
social,
Fong, mayor of Cabo, you'll find me.
There you go. There you go. You know what's funny, Chris?
I use that domain as we speak. Nick Fong, mayor of Cabo. .com, and then I'll send it.
You know what
I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
Yeah, and so any Google search will get us. We're on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. We have several different websites. But if you type in my name, Cabo, it'll come up. You can contact me by email, text message, social media.
And listen, guys, if you want to get a hold of Nick, let's reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to connect you with him and his team, because they're going to do a phenomenal job. I'm proud of you, man. I love what you're doing down there. I love the development you're working on. I just love the fact that when I come down there, man, we're about to eat like some kings, and I already know that we're going to have some amazing food. Outside of that, man, I just want to thank you again for coming on, Nick. Surely appreciate you coming on to the $1 Million Listing Podcast. If our fans want to get to know a little bit more about Cabo, I'll make sure I send over your links. I'll get some things out there for you as well. But thank you for tuning in, everyone. As always, we're going to bring you some amazing guests, and I did not do that today. I did that today as well with Nick, so really do appreciate you, Nick.